Yo, what is going on, everyone in the crypto space? Thank you guys for tuning in the channel today. Really do appreciate it. And man, I got some more exciting information for you guys today. We did go over this in today's stream, but we didn't really go too much in depth since the last stream we were already talking regulation. And we were talking like two different pieces of regulation during the stream today. So I feel like I kind of skimmed over it a little bit faster than usual. So I want to make a dedicated video for this that yes, guys, the SEC now does want to regulate digital assets specifically. It's really confirmed now. Now with this information that we have from the Federal Business Opportunities website, it's quite clear now that the SEC has plans to engage with regulators and establish regulatory infrastructure for digital assets because it is definitely needed because of all the bad actors. Again, guys, yesterday we just saw that the HR 56 Financial Technology Act, which is about investigating digital currencies and their use cases in terrorism and other illicit activities, has actually officially passed Congress. So it's definitely really already on the plate for the regulators of the Fed, essentially. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let me show you guys. This is the actual website right here where the SEC and their original synopsis, they actually added this on the 31st of January. So no, you old news keyboard warriors. All jokes aside though, this is actually very fresh. This is just on the 31st of January. This was only a couple of days ago. And what this is something called a sources sought. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit on the page here. It's called a sources sought because when I made the article on XP Daily and then tweeted out on Twitter, some people were saying, hey, is this bill going to get passed? So one thing I do want to make clear, this is not a bill yet. This is something called a sources sought. And this is when a government entity actually issues a notice that they are going to be really trying to target sources to get certain pieces of information that's necessary to actually establish regulation. So you can see right here, this is the official synopsis from the SEC, and it says the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is issuing this sources sought notice as means of conducting market research to determine the availability and technical capability of large and small businesses to provide blockchain data to support the SEC's efforts, again, the SEC's efforts to monitor risk, improve compliance. That's definitely a regulatory term, wanting to improve the compliance of digital assets with the modern day security laws, and inform commission policy with respect to digital assets. Again, let me repeat that. And inform commission policy, inform essentially the policy of the Securities and Exchange Commission with respect to digital assets, as well as improve compliance. So they're really wanting to do a lot of research on digital assets. So this synopsis of the sources sought by the SEC is very vague, doesn't really go into specific detail too much. However, down below you can find an actual sources sought announcement from January 31st, and it's an official 2-page PDF from the SEC. Now, here's what is interesting, is on this PDF, it says additional information requested, and they give a list of 11 individual pieces of information that they're trying to acquire from blockchain. Now, check this out. So the first one is a list of the most widely used blockchain ledgers for which data can be provided. The XRP ledger is actually one of the largest ledgers that are used today. So essentially, right there, we're already seeing potential down here. We're also kind of skipping around a little bit, but it does say that down here on the submission details, it says vendors who wish to respond this should send this to the following emails during that specific time frame. Interested businesses should submit a brief capability statement package, no more than 5 pages, demonstrating ability to provide the requirements listed in this sources sought notice. Documentation should be in bullet format and address all items. I have no doubt that somebody on the Ripple regulatory team is already on top of this and have already sent them an email, because what they're saying is, the SEC is saying, is that businesses that want to be regulatory and want to comply with the SEC, they should submit a form. And what this form will do is it submits a form no more than 5 pages demonstrating ability to provide the requirements listed, and they want to get essentially they want to get details about the network, be able to track transactions, like use tools and data sourcing and data accuracy and things like that. So they basically, what they want to do is they want to get ledgers that are widely used and then collect a lot of data off of those ledgers, convert that into a reviewable format, so then they're actually well researched and well educated while trying to establish regulation. So really, I honestly have no doubt that somebody from the Ripple regulatory engagement team has probably already sent this to them, because they're looking for businesses who are invested, on top of this, on top of these ledgers in the crypto space, and they want them to really be transparent and give them access to any sort of data that they really want to. And the good thing, the XRP ledger is decentralized and open source and completely public, so that the SEC or Ripple can easily guide the SEC in the right direction to gathering all the data that they need to be compliant. And that's where XRP is going to be regulatory compliant. And once we get that regulatory clarity, guys, we are going to see institutions by the masses leveraging XRP. Now, whether or not this has anything to do with Ripple and SEC engagement, that is still an unknown. But if I was to put my speculation cap on for a bit, I mean, that's kind of, remember how Brad Garlinghouse lately has been always tweeting about, oh, transparency is very important. Transparency. He always preaches about transparency in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space is very important. And essentially, the SEC is wanting all of these pieces of information, and to get all of this stuff, you really do have to have a very transparent ledger. So it's really interesting to see this, and then how they're specifically saying that you can actually email them. And you can prove to them that they can get all the information that they are acquiring or that they really want through this sources sought. So again, let's go ahead. I know I've been jumping around a bit over this PDF, but let me just go ahead and read you all of the information that the SEC is wanting. They're wanting to gather all this information, learn as much about blockchain and digital assets, be very well researched and educated. That therefore we can get really what am I trying to say here? We can get really proper regulation, because the problem is if we approach these regulators and they don't have much knowledge about the digital assets, and we try to exclude digital assets from security laws, these guys really aren't going to know what's even in front of them. Going, well, what is this digital asset, and why should it not be classified as security? So the thing is, what I feel like is what the SEC is trying to do is they are doing a massive stretch of research to try to gather as much data as possible, so they can make regulations on proper research and education, and we don't get regulations established by someone who has no clue what they're trying to regulate, but they're just regulating it because that's their job, essentially, right? So really, what they're doing, it's really trying to educate the regulators so we get proper regulation. But yeah, so they want a list of the most widely used blockchain ledgers, universe of data available for each provided blockchain, options for data sharing, for data transmission option, data sharing process, vendor query option of data sharing, processes and tools used in data and aggregate to compile the data, data use permissions, tools recommended or offer support for the GUI, data visualizations, cost estimates for ongoing access / subscription to the requested data. So they're really wanting to get a lot of information on these ledgers so they can therefore regulate, because guys, we all know we need this cryptocurrency regulation, and we really need the clarity, because that would be one heck of a catalyst for cryptocurrency innovation in this country. So it really has to no surprise that the SEC is trying to gather like a ton of information on the most used ledgers right now, because just yesterday, I reported on this, which was introduced on the January 3rd. It was this HR Financial Technology Protection Act, and this is like a similar thing. They're trying to gather a ton of data on illicit use of digital currencies, and make regulation on top of that well-researched, well-educated topic of that that certain form right there. So guys, we're really seeing a lot of cryptocurrency regulation in the US start to come underway. We also have the Token Taxonomy Act, the Virtual Currency Consumer Protection Act. Now we got the Financial Technology Protection Act, and then now we got the SEC collecting information on the most used ledgers. And I have no doubt Ripple has already emailed them pretty much everything they need to know, because they know they want to be very, very regulatory compliant. And that's where, man, when we got the regulation, we got the thumbs up from Uncle Sam, we got that infrastructure established, and banks can leverage digital assets without having to question violating local laws, then I mean, that's where really, guys, we're gonna see a catalyst for innovation here. So next topic, I do want to kind of briefly say that the reason why, guys, this is being regulated is because we have some of the largest banks in the world actually tapping into this technology, and actually Ripple specifically. I believe there is about there's about 6 to 7 to 8 banks of the top 20 who are either working or invested into Ripple. That's almost half of the top 20 banks in the world investing into Ripple specifically, let alone blockchain in general. And guys, a lot of big players are stepping in. Wall Street, JP Morgan, Fidelity, Ameritrade, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, Nomura Holdings, Northern Trust, New York Mellon. I mean, there's a lot, and BlackRock, not even to mention. Guys, there's a lot of big people wanting to get into the crypto space. These venture capitalists and these big investors are just very quietly coming in. And all of a sudden, guys, I don't find this coincidence how 3 months before the news we have today, there were lobbying groups being established. And I'm so glad to see that. In my opinion, I believe what we're seeing today with these 3 blockchain bills being passed through Congress and now SEC collecting data and wanting to regulate digital assets, it's really showing that I feel like the lobbying is actually really paying off, as well as, again, this sounds kind of bad to say, but since people have lost a lot of money and since a lot of people have been kind of scammed in the crypto space, it's causing I feel like all the bad actors in crypto are causing government to step in, as well as all the big institutions. All these big regulated institutions don't want to go all in on an unregulated market. So once we have that regulatory clarity there, we're going to see XRP being leveraged in a lot of major banks, as well as a lot of institutional backed crypto exchanges coming to fruition. Guys, regulation, I am so excited for it. Was so pumped yesterday to see that this actually passed Congress. And now, guys, the SEC, we've been saying this whole time, they got to get off their rear end. They got to go do something. But now they're doing it. Now they're collecting a lot of data. And they are doing this because they do want to improve compliance and inform commission policy with respect to digital assets. They do not want to disrupt this market. And even like the head of the SEC, I think like Jay Clayton, he was saying that they want to take an approach to cryptocurrency to not harm it. They want to help benefit and be a catalyst for innovation. So guys, man, regulation could be one heck of a catalyst for a bull run. I know we keep talking about like the hype bull run, the utility bull run, but man, what about the regulation bull run? Man, these regulators could do some wonderful things for cryptocurrency. I'm so thankful for those crypto lobbying groups, as well as Ripple meeting with the White House. So guys, last thing I do want to touch on today, Leonidas, he actually reported about 2 hours ago on Twitter that the Jet account that was selling 1 million XRP per day stopped selling last month, and the other wallets are also inactive for now. And basically, since the whole splitting off of Jed leaving the company and all that whole scenario, basically, Jed, he's got a history being a crooked guy. He had some bad ideas for Ripple, like a Facebook airdrop and give away a ton of it was just, the guy all really had bad ideas, and that's the reason why he left. I'm not really going to go on that too much, but basically, he's been selling XRP every single day as to his legal limit as he can. But then all of a sudden, January 11th, he stopped actually selling. So people are asking, will this last? And is there some reason behind why Jed isn't selling any more XRP? Maybe they have come to some sort of a settlement agreement. Maybe he's all out of XRP. Who knows? But all we know now is that Jed is no longer selling any more XRP as of now. So pretty cool stuff. So thank you guys for watching this video today. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, check links in the description, get yourself a Nano S, keep that cryptocurrency nice, safe, and offline. And make sure guys hit those post notifications so you never miss a video or a stream. And as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about the cryptocurrency regulation? Do you think it could be a catalyst for not only innovation, but also a bull run? All right, guys, thank you for tuning in the channel today. Really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.